You eat these every day, and every day they are quietly attacking your joints. This is not about junk food. This is not about the obvious things you already know are bad for you. Some of the foods on this list are sitting in your kitchen right now, and you probably believe they are healthy. Your doctor may have even recommended them. But inside your body, inside the soft tissue of your knees, your hips, your fingers, these foods are fueling a process called chronic low-grade inflammation. And after 60, when your joints are already working harder than they used to, that inflammation becomes the difference between a morning that feels stiff and a morning that feels painful. In my last video, I took you inside your knee to show you what is actually happening to your cartilage after 60. If you missed that one, I will link it above. Today, we are going one step further. We are looking at what you put on your plate and how it either protects your joints or slowly tears them apart. 7 foods. Some will confirm what you suspected. Others will genuinely surprise you. Let us start with the one that is hiding in almost everything. Number 1. Added sugar. You already know sugar is not great for you. But here is what most people do not understand about sugar and joints specifically. When you eat excess sugar, your body produces molecules called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These molecules do exactly what their name suggests. They age your tissues. They bind to collagen, the protein that gives your cartilage its structure, and they make it stiff and brittle. Cartilage that should be flexible and springy becomes rigid and fragile. But it gets worse. AGEs also trigger your immune system to release inflammatory cytokines, the same chemicals I showed you in the knee video. Interleukin-1, tumor necrosis factor, the ones that create the degenerative cycle. And the real problem is not the sugar you add to your coffee, it is the hidden sugar. A single serving of flavored yogurt can contain 25 grams, a glass of orange juice, 22 grams, a bowl of granola, 17 grams. These are foods people eat for breakfast thinking they are making a healthy choice. Number 2. Refined vegetable oils, soybean oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, canola oil. These are in almost every processed food you buy, and they are loaded with omega-6 fatty acids. Now, omega-6 is not inherently bad. Your body needs some. But the modern diet contains roughly 15 to 20 times more omega-6 than your body was designed to handle. And when omega-6 overwhelms omega-3, it creates a pro-inflammatory state throughout your body. Your joints feel this imbalance directly. Number 3. White bread and refined grains. White bread, white pasta, white rice, most breakfast cereals. When grains are refined, the fiber and nutrients are stripped away, leaving mostly starch. Your body converts this starch into glucose rapidly, causing a blood sugar spike. And every blood sugar spike triggers an inflammatory response. Day after day, meal after meal, this adds up. Now, here is where it gets interesting. Because the next 2 foods are ones that many people eat specifically because they think they are good for their joints. Number 4. Margarine and low-fat spreads. For decades, we were told to replace butter with margarine. It was supposed to be the heart-healthy choice. But most margarines are made from those same refined vegetable oils we just discussed, and many still contain traces of trans fats even when the label says 0. How is that possible? Regulations in many countries allow manufacturers to round down to 0 if the amount per serving is below a certain threshold. But you rarely eat just 1 serving. And trans fats are among the most inflammatory substances you can put in your body. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that higher trans fat intake was associated with increased levels of C-reactive protein, one of the primary markers of systemic inflammation. Your joints do not exist in isolation. When your whole body is inflamed, your joints suffer. Number 5. Certain dairy products. This one is complicated, and I want to be honest with you about that. Not all dairy is bad for joints. Fermented dairy like yogurt and kefir may actually reduce inflammation for some people. But highly processed dairy, particularly in people who have even a mild sensitivity to casein, the primary protein in cow milk, can trigger an immune response. The problem is that many people over 60 have developed some degree of dairy sensitivity without knowing it. They have been drinking milk their entire lives. They do not connect the morning stiffness or the swollen fingers to the glass of milk they had at dinner. If your joint pain seems to come and go without a clear pattern, dairy is worth investigating. Number 6. Alcohol. I know this is not what many people want to hear. A glass of wine with dinner feels like a small pleasure, and I am not here to take that away from you. But I do want you to understand what happens inside your joints when you drink. Alcohol increases intestinal permeability. In plain language, it makes the lining of your gut slightly leaky. When this happens, small molecules that should stay inside your digestive tract slip through into your bloodstream. Your immune system detects these foreign molecules and mounts an inflammatory response. This is not dramatic. You do not feel it happening. But if you are drinking every day, even moderately, you are maintaining a constant, low-level inflammatory signal throughout your body. Alcohol also interferes with your sleep architecture, specifically the deep sleep phases where your body does most of its repair work. The cartilage restoration that should happen overnight gets disrupted. And over months and years, that disruption adds up. Number 7. And this is the one that surprises most people. Excessive red meat. Red meat contains a molecule called nu-5GC. Humans are one of the few mammals that cannot produce this molecule naturally. So when you eat red meat, your body treats nu-5GC as a foreign invader. It produces antibodies against it. And those antibodies create chronic, low-grade inflammation. This does not mean you need to eliminate red meat entirely, but if you are eating it 4, 5, 6 times a week and your joints are getting stiffer and more painful, there is very likely a connection. Reducing to 1 or 2 servings per week can make a noticeable difference within a few weeks. So, if these 7 foods are working against your joints, what should you be eating instead? Let me give you 5 simple swaps that work with your body, not against it. First, replace refined oils with extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil contains a compound called oleocanthal. Researchers have found that oleocanthal works in a similar way to ibuprofen, blocking the same inflammatory enzymes. 3 tablespoons a day is what most studies suggest for a meaningful anti-inflammatory effect. Use it on salads, drizzle it on vegetables. Cook with it at low to medium heat. Second, replace white grains with whole grains or root vegetables. Sweet potatoes, quinoa, oats, brown rice. These release glucose slowly, avoiding the inflammatory spikes. They also contain fiber, which feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, and gut health directly affects joint inflammation. Third, eat fatty fish 2 to 3 times per week. Salmon, sardines, mackerel. These are the richest sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which directly counter the inflammation caused by excess omega-6. If you do not enjoy fish, a high-quality fish oil supplement is a reasonable alternative, but whole food is always better. Fourth, add turmeric to your cooking. Turmeric contains curcumin, one of the most studied natural anti-inflammatory compounds in the world. The key is absorption. Curcumin on its own is poorly absorbed. But when combined with black pepper, which contains piperine, absorption increases by up to 2,000%. A pinch of black pepper with your turmeric makes all the difference. Fifth, eat berries daily. Blueberries, strawberries, cherries. These are packed with anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that reduce inflammatory markers. Tart cherries in particular have been shown to lower C-reactive protein levels in multiple clinical trials. Let me be clear about something before we finish. I am not telling you to never eat sugar again. I am not telling you to give up your glass of wine or your steak. That is not realistic and it is not necessary. What I am saying is this: your joints are listening to what you eat. Every meal is either adding fuel to the inflammation inside your joints or helping to calm it down. And after 60, when your cartilage is already thinner and your recovery is already slower, the balance of that equation matters more than ever. Here is a simple plan you can start tomorrow. Pick one food from the list of 7 that you eat most often, just one, and reduce it for 2 weeks. At the same time, add one of the 5 alternatives. Maybe it is switching from corn oil to olive oil. Maybe it is replacing your morning toast with oatmeal. Maybe it is adding berries to your breakfast. 2 weeks, one swap. That is all I am asking. Because here is what I have learned. Small changes, done consistently, produce bigger results than dramatic overhauls that last 3 days. Your joints are not asking for perfection. They are asking for a little less fire and a little more fuel. If you found this helpful, I have linked a free printable summary of all 7 foods and their alternatives in the description below. And in my next video, I am going to show you why you wake up at 3 in the morning after 60 and what your brain is actually doing at that hour. It is one of the most fascinating things I have researched. Subscribe so you do not miss it. I release a new inside story every Monday and Thursday. Your body is changing. Let us understand it together. Take care of yourself. I will see you in the next one.